From April 15th to April 16th, 2022, Sino-American Pharmaceutical Professional Association, Greater Philadelphia, SAPA-GP, held its annual conference at the Sheraton Valley Forge Hotel, King of Prussia, PA. This is the first in-person event of SAPA since the breakout of the COVID-19 pandemic, and is also the celebration of the 20th anniversary of SAPA-GP. It is a much delightful and invigorating moment for more than 300 participants at the conference. The conference lasted 1.5 days, both virtually and on-site. In addition to the keynote speech in the plenary session, the 3 parallel sessions titled Scientific Track, Business Track, and Career Development were held to best accommodate the different focuses and preferences of the audience. On April 15th, Dr. Yang Yuan, 2013 to 2014 President-elect, announced the opening of the 2022 SAPA-GP Annual Conference and went through the 20 years achievement of SAPA-GP with a memorial video. Dr. Lu Shan, a professor at University of Massachusetts Medical School, started the keynote speech with an introduction of the historical development of vaccines. As an expert in the vaccine development, Dr. Lu offered his own proposals on the maximizing of the COVID-19 vaccine protection for individuals and introduced his research team's recent work progress on a novel DNA and a protein combination COVID vaccine. Dr. Zhuoming Liu, a professor at Washington University in St. Louis, discussed his team's cutting-edge research on developing neutralizing antibodies that can target a broad range of COVID-19 variants using an established proprietary technology platform. Professor Zishuan Wang introduced the extraction-free PCR assay for COVID-19 testing in Thomas Jefferson University, which has similar assay sensitivity with the commonly used COBA's 6800 SARS-CoV-2 PCR assay. With such experience, she shared her thoughts and the lessons learned from the pandemic that would help us getting prepared for future pandemics. In business track session, Derek Lee, a managing director at Baird & Corporation, discussed the recent situations of the investment market for biopharma-related industries. Mr. Lee and Dr. Geert Kavenberg, the founder of Phases 123 LLC, joined a panel discussion hosted by Seamus Zhang, a managing director at PwC US. Dr. Geert Kavenberg has been an old friend of SAPA. He pointed out, just like many other industries, the biopharma industry can be cyclical, such that the current market condition should be viewed with a long-term perspective. On April 16th, Dr. Jinsong Wang, the founder and CEO of Harbor Biomed, also a former president of SAPA, started the keynote speech by discussing the recent progress of his company's development of next-generation cancer immunotherapies. Dr. Chris Chen, the CEO of WuXi Biologics, also joined the conference by video from China. He summarized the remarkable progress that WuXi Biologics accomplished in the global fight against COVID-19. Adopting a risk-controlled approach, WuXi Biologics, with its robust CMC and cell line development platforms, greatly accelerated the progress from DNA to IND and from IND to EUA. After that, Dr. Jinsong Wang, Dr. Chris Chen, and Mr. James Fendrick, who attended the conference on site as the president of the Rockland Immunochemicals, joined the panel discussion hosted by Dr. Fan Shan, who is a former president of SAPA and a vice president at Immunome. Mr. James Fendrick had nearly 30 years of experience in the antibody drug development and nearly 10 years of engaging with SAPA. He firmly believes that the global cooperation in the biopharma industry is dispensable and benefits the entire humankind, which is a critical message he wishes to convey via SAPA. The morning scientific track session was kicked off by a speech of Dr. Yang Liu, a senior principal scientist in the Division of Analytical Research and Development at Merck Research Laboratories. His talk focused on using innovative analytical methods to manage the organic impurity issues during drug development. The second speaker, Dr. Yun Zhang from Pfizer, shared his experience and insights of non-clinical safety assessment strategy of the mRNA-based vaccines. The last speaker in the morning session is Dr. Julia Gao from Bristol Myers Squibb. Her talk focused on the novel lipid nanoparticle LNP drug delivery system containing siRNA. In a virtual panel discussion for business track session hosted by Ms. Laura Fan, founder and CEO of LFI Solutions, 5 panelists shared with the audience their career transitions from a scientist to an entrepreneur and their experience in early-stage innovation. In the afternoon scientific track session, Dr. Alex Morozov, the Vice President and Head of Digital Health at Bristol Myers Squibb, elaborated on how the applications of digital health influence the practice of medicine and its significant implications for drug development. Dr. Vinay Parin, a psychology and neuroscience professor at Temple University, started his speech by elaborating on the current challenges and limitations in developing therapies for neuropsychiatric illnesses where there is still a huge unmet medical needs. Dr. Jennings Xu, a director of research and development at Janssen, discussed how data science has driven the acceleration of J&J COVID-19 vaccine phase 3 clinical trial. In the business track panel discussion hosted by Dr. Seamus Jiang, a managing director at the PwC US, 4 panelists discussed the critical issues encountered by a growth stage innovator company in the biopharma space. The career development session was hosted by Dr. David Krajan from Merck. Ms. Marie Lighthouser, the featured speaker, is an executive coach with 20 years of experience as a senior leader in biopharmaceutical R&D. During the 1.5-day session breaks and afternoon networking reception, hundreds of attendees were enjoying the first on-site professional get-together in 3 years. Speakers, sponsors, business and academic representatives, and students continued having lively discussion on talent recruitment, reaching out to potential business partners, and company branding and exhibition. Dr. Yung Chao Su, 2021 to 2022 president, gave the closing remarks and hosted the award ceremony to advisory board, functional leads, and volunteers with special contributions to SAPA-GP over the past years. The New Year presidency was then handed over to Dr. Hai-Chen Yan, 2022 to 2023 president. The annual conference came to a successful end in Dr. Hai-Chen Yan's speech.
So, year 2022 is a year of recovery. And we are recovering from the depth of pandemic impact. And we are regaining a lost ground. But this year, also a year of celebration. We are so proud to celebrate the success of this great organization during the past 20 years. And the most important of all, I believe this will be a year of thriving. We want to bring this organization to a brand new level, and we aim for increase our visibility, expanding our tent, and becoming important players in the broader and more diverse community of Greater Philadelphia.
Recognized for its pharmaceutical legacy, the Greater Philadelphia area is now poised to become a leading worldwide cell and gene therapies hub. Sino-American Pharmaceutical Professionals Association, Greater Philadelphia, is proud to invite you to @Philly CGT Conference, which is going to take place in June 17 to 18, 2022 at the Sheraton Valley Forge Hotel. This conference features pioneering stories and expert-led discussions covering topics from early discovery to the ecosystem that supports a sustainable and stable supply of CGT products and talents.